I've been a patent draftsman for 63 years. I'm Saul Eisler. I'm 83 years old. I am living in the moment in drafting. It's been one of the great passions of my life. Patent drafting is a means of protecting the intellectual property of an inventor. Whether it's the design of an object or whether it's the way the object works. We all have heard of the light bulb and the automobile. Those were some of the most valuable patents of all. Let's say you came to me with the invention of a new fan. You would want to protect something that has never been seen before or never works the same way before. That's what you're trying to protect with the patent. The patent attorney will describe the invention in great detail in word form. I draw up the invention in every possible way in picture form so that it reveals what the invention looks like. The drawings are filed with the written invention in the patent office in Washington, D.C. If someone else wants to steal your invention, they're going to have to face you, very possibly in court. They might be sued for millions of dollars. I got into patent drafting in a very natural way. My father was a patent attorney. He worked in the Leader building at the corner of 6th and Superior, right in the heart of Cleveland, Ohio. My father was a bit absent-minded. He took the garbage out to the garage, got in his car, and put the garbage can in his car and drove it downtown, and then drove it back. It was the only garbage can in our neighborhood that ever visited downtown. Another time he went to work with 2 ties on. One he had hooked over his shoulders, and it got kind of lost in his jacket, and so he put another one on and he tied it, and he went downtown and he opened up and there's a tie hanging here and the regular tie up front. He took the car downtown and took the bus home, and my mother had to drive him downtown, and I'm sure he heard about it all the way there. He was a wonderful, wonderful guy who was loved by his sons and his grandchildren. I lived on Shannon Road in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. It was 1939. I was 5 years old. Before we moved into that house, I watched it being built. And one day, my father proudly moved us all into that house. I lived there throughout my young life. My career kind of began in high school. My father suggested that I be a patent attorney like him. 5 foot 3.5 inches tall. He didn't want to argue at that height. I would take the most difficult courses, physics and chemistry and geometry and so forth. I didn't do very well, and yet I went on and continued into college in engineering. I didn't do well in college, but I was the fastest chugger in my fraternity. I was living on the 3rd floor of a beat-up old house on Lake Mendota. It was the middle of winter. I was so despondent that I considered suicide. Not like me, but at the moment it was. And I took a chair and dragged it out to the middle of Lake Mendota and sat there and did my contemplation. And then picked up my chair and went on with my life. I didn't know where to go, but I did come away with those courses in drafting that I really took to and actually enjoyed. During this time, I was doing patent drawings for my father only. At that very young age, when I got married at 21 and my wife was only 19 years old, I did find a job drafting for a company that made aluminum storm windows. That was my first professional experience working for someone else. I had a desk which I made myself and spent hours there every Saturday listening to the Metropolitan Opera broadcast. And I got totally hooked on opera as I slowly went through the beginning stages of my drafting life. I later on became a spear carrier, a supernumerary for the Metropolitan, which came to Cleveland every year. And I did that for 13 years, including going to New York, being the only outsider to appear in the Met at its closing performance at the old Metropolitan Opera House. And I've loved opera ever since. My work starts before I get to my desk and to my instruments by interviewing the patent attorney. I usually work with the patent attorney. I find out what he thinks the invention is all about. I ask questions that lead me to understand the heart of the invention. Then I'm ready to make the drawings by hand. Very different than what is done today. CAD drawing, computer-aided drafting, is the way most things are done today. But I have always done my drawings by hand. But the fact is, and I can prove it and would be happy to go into a contest with anybody making a CAD drawing, that I will do it faster than they can do it. It takes me about 2 hours to draw a sheet of drawings like this. I doubt that the CAD person could do it anywhere near that. I promoted my business by offering a 2-day service at no extra charge. 2 days is unheard of still to this day for the typical invention. The typical invention might take 2 weeks from a CAD drafter. The instruments I use to make these drawings are compasses, T-squares, a triangle, proportional dividers. And I also use templates. Many of these instruments are well over 50 years old. This is a drawing board, a swivel drawing board, that is possibly 100 years old, as useful to me today as they ever were. I almost stop breathing when I'm drawing. My metabolism slows down, and I'm in a zone that makes everything come out better. It's because I love what I'm doing. Drafting has a very special meaning for me. I'm going to compare it, oddly, to golf. When I'm on a golf course, everything slows down. I'm in this zone where all that matters is what's before me. It is a form of meditation. I am doing something that I truly love to do. And when I'm doing it, there's nothing else but that.